Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we are going to talk about the story of Shadda. What exactly is Shadda? It's this sign that comes on top of the letter. And why does it do so? Here is a word, صدق. As you can see, that has that same Shadda here. If we break it up, this is what it looks like. So with the sa with the fatha, then dal with the sakin, da with the fatha, and qa with the fatha. Saddaqa. And here's tabba. Breaking it up, it's tab with the ba sakin and ba, but the sound of the kalkala will not be there. Tabba. It won't be tababa. It'll be tabba. And here ha hunna. And here you can say ha with the dhamma, and noon sakin, and then we have noon with the fatha, hunna. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about. And to make this story interesting, I've made it in to make this concept interesting, I made it into a story, and the children love it. And by learning about this, they learn about this concept, and then it's easy to go through the practice words, as I have some over here on this. But I have my own flashcards that I do with the children. I don't really show them from this. Okay, so let's go into our lesson now. Story of Shadda. Once upon a time there lived two families at the edge of the woods. Their houses were side by side. The two families would spend quite a lot of time together, and sometimes they would go to the woods for picnics. It was always a great treat to be out in the woods, with so many interesting sounds and smells and things to explore. The children of the families would have a lot of fun together. Sean of the yellow house and the twins from the blue house were really good friends. As you know, sometimes there are twins that look alike and sometimes they don't. Well, in the blue house, the twins looked exactly alike. What was really strange was that not only did they look alike, but their parents had even called them by the same name, Fa and Fa. One day, Sean, Fa and Fa were playing at Sean's house, and they decided that they would ask their parents if they could go to the woods for a picnic, all by themselves. The twins ran to their house to ask their parents, and Sean asked his. The parents allowed them to go as long as they didn't go far. Sean's mom packed them some chocolate cake for the picnic, and Fa's mom gave them some crackers and juice. As they left their houses, they remembered to say the dua when we leave our home. Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. And off they went with their fatha caps on. Sa, Fa and Fa, here you see them on their picnic ride. Sa, Fa and Fa skipped and jumped all the way to the woods, and you could hear them as they sang, Sa, Fa, Fa, Sa, Fa, Fa, Sa, Fa, Fa. When they reached the woods, they put their treats under a shady tree. There are their treats under a shady tree. And they set off to explore. They were trying what Sa and Fa were busy looking at were to find out where the bees were going as they buzzed about. Fa was humming to himself as he skipped and hopped. He spotted a beautiful bird up in a tree. As he drew nearer to take a closer look, it flew away onto the next tree, and it kept flying to the next tree. Fa kept a close eye on it, but before he knew, he had gone very far. Look at that. Well, they were here, the starting point was here, and now they've all gone. Oh, Fa has gone very, very far. All right. Meanwhile, Sa and Fa were arguing about the flowers. The next day was school, and Sa thought it would be wonderful to pick some flowers for show and tell. Fa told him that it was not right to pluck flowers. Even the teacher had said that they should never do that. The woods were public property. If everyone who visited the woods picked flowers, soon there would be none left. Sa told Fa that he would ask Fa's twin what he thought. But when he turned around to ask Fa, Fa was nowhere to be seen. See, here is Fa on the track, and you have here you have Sa. Now these two are right here, but there's no sign of the other Fa. Where could the other Fa have gone? He was way over here because of the beautiful bird he'd seen in the sky. He had absolutely lost where he was. He didn't know where he'd gone, how far he'd gone to, and that beautiful bird up in the trees had really kept him busy. And then what happened? He suddenly realized that he was way out. Fa had not realized it, but it had grown quiet. He couldn't hear Sa and Fa's voices anymore. Oh dear, he thought to himself, I better run back before they miss me. And he started to run back the way he had come. He was running so fast that he didn't see the rock jutting out on the path, and he fell right over it and flat on his face. Oh, that hurt. When he tried to stand up, he just couldn't. He had twisted his ankle, and when he stood up, it hurt too much. And you know, when letters get hurt, they wear a sacking hat. So he didn't have his hat anymore. Oh dear. Now Fa was really worried. Their parents had asked them not to go too far, and here he was in the middle of the woods. He started to call out to Sa and Fa to help him and come to his rescue. Help! Help! But except for the sounds of the rustling leaves and the birds chirping, there was no sign of Sa or Fa to be heard anywhere. Fa did not give up. He prayed to Allah to help him. But try as they might, Sa and Fa could not find Fa anywhere. Sa said, we better try to find Fa, otherwise your mother and dad will be really mad with us. They started to call out as they walked looking for footprints of Fa's on the path. Fa, Fa, where are you? They kept calling, Fa, Fa, where are you? But there was nowhere was Fa to be seen. Then suddenly Sa called out, shh, I hear something. And as Sa and Fa stopped to listen, they could hear Fa's faint cry. Help! Help! Hang on, Fa, we're coming, yelled Sa and Fa together. Fa's sounds got closer and closer. There, as they passed a huge trunk, they saw Fa was on the ground. And what? He couldn't even move. Oh no, he had tripped and fallen as he had tried to make his way back. And look at that. He now has a sacking hat on his head. Oh dear. I can't move, I can't get up. Look, I have a belt, said Sa. Don't worry. And what did he do? He took out his belt and he said, okay, let's do something. Sa said, you hold one end of it, Fa, and I'll hold the other. And that'll become like a seat. And we'll carry Fa back to where our picnic basket is. But as they walked, a strange thing happened. Right above both the Fa's heads, there was a Shadda sign, and it looked just like a W. Look at that. Oh! And whenever a twin gets hurt and the other has to help, they wear a Shadda cap, and you will only see one of the twins. The other one becomes invisible. Let's listen to what they sound like as they walk back to where they had left their things. Safa, Safa. That's what the Fa's sound like when they wear the Shadda cap. And that's what they said all the way back to where they had left their picnic treats. After they had eaten, they returned home. And of course, well, taking one look at Fa, and now that he was hurt, his mother took him straight to the doctor. Fa had to have his foot bandaged up for a few days, but soon he was good as new and didn't have to wear a sacking cap anymore. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. After you have explained the concept of the shad with the use of the story, then you can go on to actually showing them the flashcards as I have done here. Every letter, every word that has the shad, I have put them on individual flashcards so the child recognizes it, and then he doesn't learn the placement of where that word is coming. For instance, if you taught him on this, he would probably just go صدق قدر, and children learn where those words are placed, and so it's very easy for them to memorize their locations, and so easier for them to say it. Here, when they're all mixed up, they don't do that. Children are forced to read individually and focus on the word at hand. So this is a really good way of teaching them to read without being dependent on any qaida or any book. and then you can play a lot of games, and you can, like for instance, there's this new game I've started with the children where I say, okay, let's see who can read the smoothest. You can become whales or dolphins, and whoever swims better in the water, how fast do you go? And then I say, if they're reading beautifully, I say, well, you're swimming beautifully. They can be cars, they can be anything. So in a group learning, this is always very handy. Here, if the children get confused about what's happening, what you can do is break the words up. If they come to this, you can say, okay, what is this? Dada, and they can't really say it. You say, okay, let's break it up and see what's inside it. Let's open it up. So you say, how many dals are there in here? There are two. And one is the hurt one, and one is the one with the fatha one. And then if they can't still get it, then you can draw it out. And that works out really well too. For instance, this one, you would place it here. You can draw it out. You say, okay, this is what you are getting confused with, or you don't know what's happening here. So let's see. We'll open it up. You have ain, and then you have a dal, and that has a sakin, and the second dal has got a fatha, and the third one has got a fatha too. So you have dada, but because they know about kalkalas, they'll be saying ada, dada. But you say when you join them, when the twins join up, you do not say the kalkala sound, so it goes dada. So just the same way you would do all of the other letters. Now one thing to remember is when you come to letters with sakin on them, when you come to words which have the gunna, which means that when you have, for instance, you might have, we did it previously, we had this one, hunna, or we'll have, which other one would we say, hunna, inna, we can do inna, if we have inna. Okay, what the child needs to remember, and it can be even thumma, because here's another one which is very common in the Quran, thumma. Sometimes it even comes with thamma. What the children need to realize is that these, I call them extra sticky letters. They're the gunna letters. When there's a double meme coming and there's a double noon coming, they need to realize that these letters call for a more elongated sound when you read them. It wouldn't be a quick ad-dada. It will be thumma. You hold it for 2 counts. In fact, it's practically 3 counts because you're holding it tight. Thumma, hunna, inna. So you need to make sure that the child is not reading thumma and thumma, not like that. They need to make sure that whichever the letters they're reading, they need to emphasize it because the shadda is there for that reason. So these are little W's, like when you draw them this way because that's the way the Arabic text goes, like this, like that. But it actually is exactly the same thing as a lowercase w. All right. So this is something I just thought would be interesting for you to note as you teach the shadda letters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.